Alright guys, Levi here, aka the Punisher Max 17, and this is the completed Zoids 1/72nd scale Dark Spiner. Now if you've been watching my work in progress videos, you had a general idea of what this was going to look like, but this is it all put together. And I gotta say, I couldn't be happier with this. I absolutely love it. I think the paint scheme I went with just looks very good. As you know, it's a custom paint scheme. It originally came in the green and purple colors. You can see it originally if you watch my first work in progress. And basically all the yellow was purple, all the blue here was green, and you know, all the black was originally black as well. But I also did internal frame detail, which really I'm not going to show you guys much of on this because I don't want to take the armor off it and worry about scratching any of the paint and stuff. I mean, it is top coated and it is sturdy paint, but I'd rather just not take it apart too much in the video here. So if you guys want to see the internal frame details, watch the first work in progress, I believe. There also might be some in this third, not sure. But yeah, this went really well. Here's a front look at it. The other side and the back. Now, for being this is a reasonably old model. It was released over here in the U.S. in the early 2000s, but I'm not sure when it was originally released in Japan. I know some of these Zoids kits were from back in the 80s in Japan, but some of them are newer stuff. I'm not sure when this was. Honestly, this kit's made pretty well, so I'd say it's more than likely a new one. But also on here, something I didn't talk about in the work in progress is these little red clear parts. The one for the cockpit, and then I'm not sure what those real function are, but they're red clear parts. I thought about going over those in clear green, some Tamiya clear green, but I decided not to. I decided the red might look a little better, and I gotta say I'm really happy with that too. The red looks incredible in contrast to the blue and yellow. I think it looks real good. You should be able to see here in the video that I've got shading done, and you'd be able to see that if you watch my second work in progress as well. And I personally think it's the best shading I've done on a kit. In general, I gotta be honest and say I think this is probably the best technically, from a technical aspect of shading, just putting it together, all that. I think it's one of the better kits I've ever done. Shading wise, it's probably the best I've done. And that's one of those things, you know, I've started with airbrush recently and I'm just getting better as I go along, and I'm really happy with it. And a few little details of the kit, the tail parts here, they can go up like so. You can see a little bit of the internal frame detail that I did there. I didn't do too much on these tail parts. I tried originally, but it didn't go very well, and I thought there was a little bit too much of the bolt gunmetal color, so I decided to leave it a little more black. Thought it looked a little nicer. These parts here go up and down, and otherwise there's not a whole lot of mobility on this that you can just move. These move as well, but that's really about it. Though it does have the motorized feature, like all of these Hasbro, older Hasbro Tommy Zoids did. Although I started working on mine, and I was careful to stay away from the motor area with the paints and stuff, as to not clog it up or anything. But I went into the motor to change the batteries and make sure they were still good and stuff. And like I said, this is an older kit of mine, been sitting on the shelf for many years, and the motor was just filled with battery acid and stuff. So I cleaned all that out, I got it all out, replaced the batteries, and there was just something in there that wasn't working. The motor would turn on, but it wouldn't catch to spin the legs or arms or anything. So there's a gear missing somewhere in there, and I really didn't feel like going in to figure out the problem. So I just left it as is. Because I'm happy with this pose, and honestly, only thing I want it for is just to put on my shelf. But yeah, there's also one other thing I can do with this kit if I wanted to. I could take this here spine off, because it just connects right here, and I could replace it with this other Zoid that I have that's interchangeable. And that Zoid is this one right here. Honestly, I can't remember the name of this one, but it sits right on its back, in place of the little spine there. And so I thought about painting this guy up and putting him on there instead, but right now I don't think I'm going to. I think it would look nice, but I kind of like him the way he is. So for the time being, I'm not going to do it, but it's something I very well could do in the future, because I think it'd be a little cool variation to do, a little something else fun to paint and do. So I'll let you guys get a little closer look at this guy. You can see the shading a little better. You can see right there, I think it turned out pretty well on the arms and stuff, the neck, the face. Once again, I really love the contrast with this red cockpit cover. Another little trick that I did on the spine here, which I didn't show in the work in progress, is whenever I airbrush the Tamiya black over all the inner frame pieces and these parts, it's black, but it's a little almost faded looking, and it's not that dark. And I really, really like the just pitch black dark colors. So what I do is, before top coating it with the Krylon that I use, I go over the entire piece with Pledge Future, and it's kind of like an acrylic paint, and it can be used for top coat as well, but it makes it a very glossy kind of look. But going over it with this the Pledge Future, it really, really darkens up that black. And you probably can't see it a whole lot on the camera here, but there's honestly a pretty big difference between the blacks and like the inner frame and the black on this spine, and it looks really good. So like I said, I just went over it with a coat of the Pledge Future, let that dry, and then I top coated it with the Krylon flat coat, and I think it makes it look a lot better. So I guess that's about all I have to say about this guy. I'm really happy with it. I'm planning on doing another Zoid in hopefully the near future. I want to try to get back to doing like my Strike Rouge and stuff though, for the time being. Really interested in getting one of the new Kotobukiya models, to be honest. That's what my plans are. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed me doing the Zoid here. A little change of pace. I think it turned out really well. I really like it. And hopefully I'll get more of these done in the future. Little thing to do from time to time instead of Gundams. It's fun. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.